Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I want to say a very big thank you to all of my subscribers, the old subscribers, the new ones, the ones that comes, the ones that goes. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you, seriously. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share my videos, comment on my videos. If you actually like what I'm doing, please, it does not take anything just for you to hit on the like button to let me know you appreciate what I'm actually doing. Okay, today actually I'm going to be teaching you how to cut a peplum top. I'm actually going to be doing this armhole peplum top with breast cut. That is what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be having cup. That is what I'll be showing you how to do today. For the upper part, so the front part of the dress, I'm going to be using this lace. I'll just use it to cover this upper part like this on my fabric. So that is what I'm actually going to be doing. The dress is actually going to be fine. So now I just think, what part am I going to make my top? So I think maybe I'll take this red part as the top part, then this part will be for the peplum. Seriously, like I always say in most of my videos, I always challenge my subscribers for you to go out and buy fabric for yourself and make yourself beautiful. Like me, I'm not going to lie to you. I used to make fine dresses for myself. So if you are a designer and you're sitting there, you say, I don't want to sew cloth for myself, I don't have the time. That one is your own business. Because how will you advertise to others when you're making people to look good and you cannot look good? Like, you can see what I'm putting on. I have different types I buy and make for myself. And when I go out, people know that yes, people that don't know that I sew, they used to wonder, this woman, you are trying. So you should try this too also, that you are making clothes. You too, you should be trying also. So let's get serious. Make yourself beautiful before you make others beautiful. That's just it. I began by folding my fabrics into two. This is the back piece and this is the front. But first I'm going to be working with this front piece first. And the measurement that I'm going to be using for this illustration, the bust is 42 inches. The breast point is 11-14. That's 11, and then 14 is for the under bust. While the span I'm going to be making use of, 9 inches, which is 4.5. From here to here, that's the bust span. So that is 9 inches. Then the waist I'm going to be making use of, because this is actually a peplum top like this. That's in this part that I'm going to be making use of. This is going to be 40, which is the waist. So now I began by I've folded into two. So now I insert my measurement into it. The breast point, like I told you initially, I said is 11-15. So this is 11. And I have 15 here. And the waist is 18. And then I have 1 inch down for my allowance. As you can see, I left 1 inch on top as my allowance. This top part, this is going to be the seam allowance for the top part. So I'm not adding any seam allowance on this part. So for this armhole princess dart bustier, I've marked out my point. This is the breast point, while this is the under bust. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be measuring out the shoulder. And the shoulder for this dress the shoulder is actually 17 inches. That's 8.5. When you divide into two, you have 8.5. 8.5. I'll add half an inch for as my seam allowance. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be measuring my shoulder drop. That's the armhole. So I'll make use of 8 inches. I'll make use of 8 inches. And then I have 9 inches just below it. 9 inches as my chest line. 9 inches is for my chest line. The first line here, that is the chest line. 9 inches is like basic measurement for most people. 9 inches. This is the chest line. Then this one here is my breast point. Then this is the under bust. Why this last one here is this down, as you can see where this peplum is. So that's it. So this is this now. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, from this, for the middle of the dart, I'm going to be taking from this breast point. Like I told you, always measure your bust span. For this one, I'm going to be making use of 9 inches, which is 4.5, so I'll mark my 4.5 here. You can see on this breast point, this is the breast point, I have my 4.5 here. Then when it comes to the under bust, I'm going to be dropping it with 1 inch. You can decide to drop to drop by 1.5, but for this, I'll drop it by 1 inch. So I'll have 3.5 here. I'll have 3.5. This point I'm talking about now, this is the under bust, as in here. That's this place. This is the place that gives the dress, this princess, that this armhole princess bust. This is what gives it that fitting. Especially when it's a bustier, it gives it that fitting. So I drop by 1 inch. So I have 3.5 here. On the breast point, I have 4.5, which is for my dart. Then the down part, which is here, just here, I'll still maintain my 3.5 inches here, and this down part. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll just connect the lines together. This armhole princess dart is very simple. This bustier armhole princess dart is very simple. I've been using this method and it has been working perfectly for me. I just decided to share it with you people. So the next thing, from the shoulder line, from the armhole line, sorry, I'll just put my tape like this and measure 4 inches, that which is the middle. You know, initially I used 8 inches for the armhole, so I'll take 4 inches, which is the middle. 4 inches like this. This is 4 inches. Then below the 4 inches, I'll just drop down again with 2 inches down. I'll tell you later. I'll be making use of this drop later. But now, for now, I'll be making use. Now I'll be connecting my line to this. I'll connect this line now to this down part. So I'm going to be using something like a curve. I'll make something like a curve, since it's not supposed to be straight. So this is it. So the next thing, I'm going to be bringing out the cup now from this other side of this bustier. Now I'll be bringing out, if it's normal princess that you're cutting, you are just good to go. But since I'm going to be adding cup to it, which is the bustier part, so now we'll be doing the bustier part from this side. So I'll take my tape like this, and from this point, which is this breast point, I'll measure half an inch. Why I'm measuring this half an inch is when I'm covering out my bust, my cup, I don't want it to enter into this my dart line. So that is just the essence for this half an inch. So because I don't want it to enter, that is why. Then from this down part, which is the waist part, I'll just measure 2.5 inches. It is very simple and very easy. Like I said I've been using this pattern and it has been working perfectly well for me. So from the waist part, and from the under bust part, I'll use 2.5. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now, remember this two inches drop that I did? I'm going to be making a cup now, a cup from here now. It's going to be coming like this, and then to form a cup down to come like this. Like I said it is very simple and very easy. So now, in order for me to get, I'll be using my French curve. I just want to get a perfect curve. You just bring it down to join your 2.5 line that I made. You can decide to make use of a ruler to just join it so it will be perfect. So from this point, that you remember that 2 inch that I dropped, I'm gonna be adding 2.5 inches again from here like this. I'll add 2.5 inches and just rule it. Just rule this point to join it. So as you can see, this is it. So from this my 2.5 inch, you can decide to make use of 3 inches. It depends on what you want. From this point now, the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll cut it out. I can actually decide to just measure out the full bust measurement, but I don't want to do that pattern, so I'll do a different one. I'll cut it out, place it on top, and then measure out. So I'll set the back aside and then cut this part out. If you notice, you see where I stopped. So now take this piece like this and just put it here like this. I'll just put it like this, just making sure that this line, you can see the initial line is still joining with this line with just 1/2 inch from this down part. Forget anything that is happening on the bust part, so just join it like this. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'll take out my full body measurement. So I'll take my tape like this and place here 11 inches. Like I said, that's for 44. When you divide into 4, you have 11. So I'll add 3.5 inches as my allowance. I always like adding, if you know me, I always like adding excess of allowance because I sew and turn. So I'll add my allowance like this. Remember this line that I measured like this before? So I'm going to be taking it like this to join to this point here. This is the 11 inches plus 3 inches allowance that I made. So I'll just take my curve like this and just make a curve here like this. Like I said, this is the easiest method to cut a princess dart bustier. This is the simplest that you can find anywhere. So for the waist measurement, her waist measurement is actually 40. So when you divide 40 into 4, you have 10. So I'll add 10 inch. I'll mark my 10 inches like this and then use 3 inches as my allowance for this part. I'll just join like this. As you can see, this is it. So now I'll just cut this part out. Like I said, this is the easiest princess cut bustier that you can get, armhole princess cut bustier that you can find. This is a very simple method. I have been using it, I've been trying it, and it has been working very well for me and perfectly well. So I just cut it out like this, as you can see. Instead of doing too much mathematics that will damage your brain, just follow this illustration and you are good to go. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be cutting out. You can see this is the middle piece, this is the front, this is the side, sorry. So after coupling, I'll cut out my neck. I don't want to cut it out now. So but for other people that if you want to cut out the neck measurement, I'm not going to be cutting it out now, but if you want to cut out the neck measurement, all you have to do, set this piece aside and just take like this. But I'm not going to be doing it. I just want to show you, in case of people that will say you didn't cut the neck. I'll take my tape like this and measure 3.5 inches like this. Then for the depth of the neck, I'll use maybe like 5 inches and just mark it like this, and just mark it like this. I can make use of my French curve to just give it a perfect finish. If you don't have French curve, you can always use something else. You can improvise. So for the shoulder slant, which you need to add, I'll make use of 1 inch. You can make use of 1/2 inches. There are some videos I make use of half, but for this video I will just make use of 1 inch. I'll just put it like this and then use my tape from the neckline and then just join like this, and then just join to my 1 inch line and then cut off, and then cut it off. So that's that for if you want to cut the neck. But me, most times I always like coupling it first before I cut the neck, but you can still cut it like this. So that's why I just made the indications for you, so you know. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now is the back. This is the back piece. How to get the back? It's very simple and very easy. You just take this, your middle piece, you leave 2 inches on the side as your for zip allowance. You place this one like this, remember the way we placed it when we wanted to bring out the full body measurement. That is the same way you place like this. You can see just a little, like I told you, just 1/2 inch here to this side, and just place like this. As you can see, everything is all well covered up. You can see the armhole shape is already out, everything is out. Then you just take your curve like this and then maintain the curve for the armhole for the back. Just maintain the curve like this for the armhole, and then maintain like this. Like I said this is the easiest that you can find. And just cut it out, very simple and easy. And then you continue with your shoulder slant, put any neck of your choice. Then for this middle piece, if you want to do the normal regular dart, you can do it. But me, if you've watched most of my videos, you find out that I always like opening the back, because I always like this. I always like sewing it from up down. It gives it another kind of beauty. So I'll just take my tape like this and my chalk like this from where this waist part ends. I'll just put a line like this and then take the line up like this. You can see it. This is the line point. Just take it up. Use I'll just use my ruler like this and just bring it up. And when I remove it, I'll just dart it like this. If you don't want to go through this problem, you can just, like I said, you can just hold and do your normal regular dart. It's still the same. If you know how to do it perfectly well, it will still be fine. So I'll just cut like this. But I'm not going to be cutting it out. The back, remember, you always open the back because of the zipper allowance. So you open. And then notch my 2 inch here to indicate my zipper point. So now this is the front. This is the back. This is the front. The next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be cutting the peplum for this blouse. I'll be cutting the peplum. Like I said initially, this lace, I bought it. I'm going to be using it for this front. So at the end of the day, I'll cut out the front piece, I'm going to be covering it with this lace. I'll just cover it, then the peplum will still be the Ankara. So I'll cut out the peplum. For me to get my peplum, like I told you, I said the waist is 40 inches, so that is what I'm going to be using to cut out my peplum. And you know what we have initially is 18 inches. That is what we have. That is from here to here is 18 inches for this up part. So and the full length of the blouse is 25 inches. So 25 minus 18. So for me to get my for me to cut my peplum, I folded my fabric into 4 because it is a full flare. As you can see, you see what I'm putting on now. This is a full flare. You see the way it is. So I folded my fabric into 4. Like I said, the waist for this peplum is 40 inches. So when you divide 40 inches into 4, you have 10 inches. You have 10 inches. So but I'm not going to be using that 10 inches. Before the 10 inches, though, there's this standard measurement for measuring of flay. You can decide to, some of my videos, if you have been following me, you know most times in my videos I'll just determine a curve on the top of my peplum and then measure. You can decide to make use of that if you know you are good at it. But if you know you are not good and you want to use the standard measurement, you divide 40 by 6.28. That's the standard measurement. So when you divide, you have 6.3. So when you take 6.3 now, if this is 6.3, that is this point. So that means this is the point where you start to mark out your peplum curve from. Like I said, most of my videos, you see, I've showed it in one of my videos on how to determine the curve. You see it ends in 10, and because it is 10, that is what I want. That is what I want. So most of my videos, I already know how to take my curve, but for the sake of beginners that are learning, that are following me, that is why I'm just use the standard one, which is 6.28. You divide what you have, as in that's the full waist measurement. You divide it and you have, like I said, for this, when you divide 40, you have 6.3. When you divide 40 by 6.28, you have 6.3, and this is the 6.3 mark. So this is it. So this is it. So from here now, I will now take my tape like this and just place. You see, what I'm looking for is actually 10 inches. So this is it. This is my 10 inches. This is my 10 inches now. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll measure the length of the length of the blouse. Like I told you initially, I said it's 25. So I'm supposed to measure out 7 inches. When you minus 18 inches from 25, you have 7, but I'll be adding 2 inches as my allowance, so it's going to be 9 inches. So I'll just mark like this and then continue like this. And then for this down part, I'll just leave it like that. Just connect my lines. So like I always say, always cut out the down part of your peplum first before you cut the up, and always cut down. So that 2 inches that I added is because of the seam allowance. If you are going to be folding it, it will be okay. If you are not going to be folding it, it will still be okay. So now I'll cut the upper part. Like I always say, don't always cut from your exact line. Don't always cut. So you just cut. And remember, I forgot to say it now, because of the zip allowance at the back, always add 1 inch to your peplum. Like what I had, it was 10 inches, but always make it like 10.5 because of the zip allowance at the back. Or you can make it 11. You can make it 11. You can make it 10.5. So that will still cover. As you can see, This is the full, you can see it. So this is the peplum for this dress. So the sleeve I'm going to be making is just a regular sleeve, just like this. You can watch my videos for the sleeve. So I've come to the end of this illustration. Was this video helpful to you? Do you like what I did with this illustration? If you do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, and give me a thumbs up to make me know you appreciate what I've actually done. And if you have questions, you can always ask me from the question on the comment sections. Ask me any question and I'll answer you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye and God bless you.